Okay, y'all. So I stumbled across this information and I wanted to share it with you for those who are living in South Carolina. And I did a video a long time ago and I talked about the repercussions for casual humping. Okay. Everybody wants to live a hedonistic lifestyle. I want to please my flesh. I don't care who it hurts. As long as I get my pleasure out of it, I really don't care. And I've said back then, when I did that video, there's always repercussions and nobody cares as long as they're getting their needs met, whether it's through drugs, alcohol, gambling, sex, whatever it is. We went, and I've said this time and time again, we went from, if you were pregnant before marriage, you were shushed away and sent over to your auntie's house until you had the kid, and the kid went into a home, and you came back and everything was fine. You visited your aunt, so to speak, and you had a great time, and it was hidden. Now it's celebrated. You're pregnant, you're not married. That's beautiful. That's a great thing. And then we went even further to, we're not going to wait a few months to get to know each other before physical intimacy. We're going to go ahead and do it on the first meeting. So like all of our morals and values have flown completely out the window. And I'm not saying that people don't make mistakes, but these types of continual mistakes cause people their lives, and it causes people to get very sick, and it causes people to get unalived because the person they were a toxic individual and they used that physicality as ownership. I own you now. So if you don't do exactly as I feel that you should, I would just take you out of here. So there's always repercussions for that type of hedonistic lifestyle. I'm going to do whatever I want as long as I'm pleased. That's the only thing I care about, and nobody cares about the repercussions. Well, these are repercussions, okay? This is Charleston, South Carolina. The date is August 19th, 2024. It was also updated August 20th, 2024. South Carolina's Department of Public Health says about 15,000 people, including children and teens, are living with HIV infection or AIDS in the state. The spokesperson for Palmetto Community Care, an organization that offers free HIV testing, says 8 out of the top 10 states or U.S. territories of new HIV diagnoses per 100,000 people are considered to be in the Deep South. South Carolina is one of them. It's crucial for us to talk about it, especially on Southern AIDS Awareness Day, because there's so many layers that make testing difficult for people, Palmetto Community Care spokesman Richard Reams says. He said HIV and AIDS testing doesn't necessarily cater to one demographic. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends all patients between the ages of 13 and 64 get tested for HIV at least once as a part of routine health care. Tuesday is Southern HIV/AIDS Awareness Day, so Palmetto Community Care will not only offer free testing, but will also offer a gift card for future testing. Reams says the reason why they advocate for the HIV and AIDS diagnoses is to help break down any stigma that may be present. I think the more concerning part is that the South continues to rank so high in the per capita diagnosis. It's not necessarily that there are more, it's just that we're not making the date that we should. I don't know what that means, exactly what he's trying to say with that. Ivy Hill is the director of gender justice for the Campaign for Southern Equality. Hill says they encourage people to get tested and find out other options. I think there's a lot of the old rhetoric left over. Got to be HIV positive is like a death sentence, and that's not really the case. It was. Hill also says the medication has advanced. It's not a scary thing. It's quick. It's easy. And if you do get a positive, like I said, medicine has come so far. And there's absolutely, if you do get positive results now, And then there are treatments out there. This is choppy. I don't know who the hell. To get you back to an undetectable level, which means you're also on transmittable and folks live long, healthy, happy lives. This is so chopped up. Anyway, Reams says to find out your options, you need to find out your status. And one of the things that they're not going to tell you that I'm going to tell you is, I don't know about the medicines of today, but I know medicines not very long ago were, it's not a matter of if they affect your heart, it's when they're going to affect your heart. So you exchange one illness for another. Not good, right? We're going to find out what state has the highest Okay, so here we go. The District of Columbia has the highest HIV rate in the United States with 2,260.4 cases per 100,000 people in 2023. This is almost 3 times the national rate. New York, Maryland, Georgia, and Florida follow closely behind with rates of 761.6, 655.4, 643.5, and 612.5 per 100,000 respectively. In contrast, and this is interesting, in contrast, Wyoming and Montana have the lowest HIV rates with 70 and 75 cases per 100,000 people respectively. HIV diagnoses are not evenly distributed across states and regions, and the highest rates of new diagnosis continue to occur in the South. I don't know why that is. That's weird. If anybody has an idea, let me know by all means, because that's bizarre. What is going on down south? Poverty remains a driving force for HIV infections, particularly in the South, where the rates of poverty are highest. Additionally, nearly half of all Americans without health insurance live in the South. That would explain it. Wow. The South has the highest number of people with HIV, but if population size is taken into account, the Northeast has the highest rate of people with HIV. Rates of people with diagnosed HIV by region of residence. And the fact that, and we're going to go there, the fact that people cannot be faithful, the fact that people love cheating, the fact that people are toxic in their head and that encourages cheating. This is increasing with HIV, and people, it increases the diagnosis for positive HIV cases. And some people are under the influence that, or the idea that when you're married, you're less likely to have those problems, and that is incorrect. Doctors have stated that the highest demographic for people who have positive STI, sexually transmitted infections, to include HIV, are married women. Because loyalty is just a thing of the past. Nobody wants to be loyal. They want to lie, and in front of God, in front of family and friends, they want to lie and pretend that I'm going to be with you till death do you part. And they know god dang well the minute those words hit their mouth, they're lying, So that puts people in jeopardy of losing their lives. Even if their body doesn't respond to HIV medicine, you're going to get worse. And people that are screwing other people, they don't care about that because, again, they're living a hedonistic lifestyle. I'm going to do whatever is fun. And if people die, you know, it kind of happens. No, it doesn't kind of happen. Your clothes don't happen to fall off and you just happen to land on top of somebody. There's repercussions for all this hedonistic behavior. Repercussions. And nobody gives a damn about that. They're happy if they catch HIV, I guess. I don't know, because they don't give a shit. So who's most at risk? People with a current or previous partner with HIV. People with a current or previous partner who is from an area with high HIV rates. People who are from an area with high HIV rates. We just said that. People who engage in chemsex, using drugs to help or enhance sex. Men who have unprotected sex with men. Women who have unprotected sex with men who have had sex with men, which is a common occurrence. That's why a lot of men hate women, hate them with a passion, because they would rather be with men or children. I don't give a shit who don't like it. That's the truth. Hate women, hate them, can't stand them. People who inject drugs and share equipment. People who have unprotected sex with somebody who has injected drugs and shared equipment. People who share sex toys with someone infected with HIV. People with a history of STIs, hepatitis B, or hepatitis C. People who have had multiple sex partners. Right. Can't control themselves. Just can't. No self-control. And a sense of entitlement, and that's very scary. People who have also been sexually assaulted. People who have received a blood transfusion or other risk-prone procedures in countries that do not have strong screening for HIV. Healthcare workers who could accidentally prick themselves with an infected needle, but this risk is extremely low. Babies born from a parent with untreated HIV. The bodily fluids that contain enough HIV to infect someone are semen, vaginal fluids, including menstrual blood, breast milk, blood, the lining inside the anus. Other body fluids like saliva, sweat, or urine do not contain enough of the virus to infect another person. HIV is not... All right, let's go back. The main ways the virus enters the bloodstream are by injecting into the bloodstream with needles or injecting equipment that's been shared with other people, through the thin lining on or inside the anus, vagina, and genitals, through the thin lining of the mouth and eyes, through cuts and sores in the skin. HIV is not passed on through spitting, kissing, being bitten, contact with unbroken healthy skin, being sneezed on, sharing baths, towels, or cutlery, using the same toilets or swimming pools, mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, contact with animals, or insects like mosquitoes. So, the fact that people don't care because instant gratification is so much more fun. And I'll deal with all of the rest of that later because I don't really care. As long as I'm getting my cookies off. I just don't know what the... I just don't understand what is wrong with people. And the video that I made a long time ago, I guess it was like 4 or 5 years ago, I talked about there's repercussions for all that screwing. There's repercussions. And nobody cares. It's gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. What is so exciting about that? And what is so exciting that you have to do it with everybody? You can't do it with the person that you are with, that you love, because so many people are so toxic they can't love. People are their own worst enemy. That's what that is. So, this is going to be a quick synopsis explanation. How HIV infects the body. It infects the immune system, causing progressive damage and eventually making it unable to fight off infections. The virus attaches itself to immune system cells called CD4 lymphocyte cells, which protect the body against various bacteria, viruses, and other germs. Once attached, it enters the CD4 cells and uses it to make thousands of copies of itself. These copies then leave the CD4 cells, killing them in the process. So the virus is basically using your own body against you. Okay? Hijacking the cells, your cells that are used to fight off disease, and then like a copy machine, making more, duplicating the virus and then leaving the cells and killing the cells once it leaves the cells. This process continues until eventually the number of CD4 cells, also called your CD4 count, drops so low that your immune system stops working. This process may take up to 10 years, during which time you'll feel and appear well. So you appear like nothing is wrong with you, you're doing perfectly fine. Meanwhile, it's bad. It's real bad. So, like I've said, and all these people not using birth control, women refusing to use birth control, absolutely flat out refusing. There is absolutely no excuse not to use it. I did a video a long time ago, and I talked about at least 17 different types of birth control, and people still refuse to use it. They still keep getting, oops, pregnant, oops, my ass. There are too many things out there to prevent you from getting pregnant, and people refuse to use them. And then on top of that, in addition to that, you have people who know that they're HIV positive and they are deliberately infecting other people. Some states are smart. They're getting hip to the fact that people are doing that. That's attempted murder. As far as I'm concerned, that's attempted murder. And some people are serving time in jail as a result of doing that with as many people as possible, as many women as possible. There have been some men who have gotten locked up because of that. Okay. But when you're having all these babies popping out, it's obvious that you were not using protection. HIV is not a joke. It's not a joke. But hedonism, which is basically self-pleasure through whatever means necessary, is more important than anything else. And I'll never understand that. That I will never, never, never understand. So, I've said this time and time and time again. I have said that, I'm watching this update, so bear with me. Time and time and time again, I have said, fine, be that way, I don't care. I have said that people just don't care, and they prioritize doing other people. That is the most important thing in the entire world. And I don't understand that. It's the weirdest thing ever. And, if you're lost, because a lot of people are doing this because they're lost, you're not going to, I've said it, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting, and you're going to get worse things. Okay. You're going to get worse things. You're not going to find the answers to life's problems in someone else's genitals. You're not. You're not. And if you've been wild, the good news about that is you can stop today, right now, right here and right now. And if you are not HIV positive, consider yourself blessed, because the more freaky you are and the more things you do with every gender possible, with everybody possible, the more you increase your chances of HIV. And nobody seems to give a shit. But once they get that positive result, all of a sudden things are going to change. Their whole perspective will change, or they're going to get worse, and they're going to try to give it to, like I said, as many people as possible. It's also alarming that children, I told y'all this before, I'm not making this shit up. Children are being affected because children, there's a lot, I would hate to know the percentage, to be quite honest with you, but there's a lot of adults that are attracted to children. And I've talked about this before. This is so multifaceted, okay? And there's people in the families, these dysfunctional ass families, that know that family members are sexually assaulting children in the family, but they do this. Which tells me that you're just as sick as the person who's doing it. I don't give a shit about that's your cousin or that's so-and-so and you shouldn't destroy the family by putting them in jail. Nobody destroyed the family. They destroyed their own future by doing something stupid. And if it rips the family apart, that's probably not a bad thing because y'all dysfunctional as hell anyway because you keep protecting these predators and pretending you don't see it. Now, I don't know about y'all, but if we were quiet more than 10 minutes, she wanted to know what was going on. So you got somebody in the family, like I said, it's multifaceted. You got somebody in the family in the room or back in the wherever, closet or whatever, doing whatever, and y'all don't know what's going on. And then when you find out, you just want to keep it hush-hush. Which goes back to boys will be boys, which is a fucked up, dysfunctional, twisted ass, enabling attitude. We're just going to pretend we don't see it. And you need to be quiet about it. Don't embarrass the family. Don't get your cousin arrested or your dad or whoever because that was bad for the family. They should have thought, that person should have thought about that before they dropped their damn drawers. The dysfunction is real. The twistedness is real. This is happening. And then even when it doesn't happen in the family, and the child says, my teacher did this, or my summer school counselor did this, or my priest did this. You need to stop lying. You'll say anything for attention. So in other words, they're okay with that child going through that. They don't believe the child 99.9% of the time. I know of someone who's highly dysfunctional psychologically because A, the way she grew up. B, her parents used to physically fight each other and her mom shot her dad. Okay. Didn't kill him. I think, was it the mom shot the dad? One of them shot the other. And her mother had a boyfriend at one time, and the boyfriend was touching her for years. And because women will put a man over their child any day of the week, dysfunctional women. Not good women, not good mothers. Dysfunctional ass women will put their child on a back burner over a piece of man meat any day of the week. And so she told her mother back then that her boyfriend was, the mother's boyfriend was touching for years. And she said, this is her exact quote. You need to start wearing a bathrobe when you have your pajamas on. In other words, boys will be boys. I don't believe he ever did that to you, but if he did, it's kind of, so many words or less, it's your fault. Cover up a little bit better because men can't control themselves anyway. So, she is so psychologically lost now, it's unreal. How we maintained a friendship for years is beyond me, but then things started to escalate when life didn't grant her all her wishes because things happened, okay? Life changed drastically. Your college education doesn't mean a hill of beans because it's an employer's market instead of an employee's market, and it's still like that to this day. And because of it, your degrees from college don't mean a hill of beans because you've got 1,000 people applying for that same position, et cetera, et cetera. And so life didn't hand her a bed of roses anymore. And that caused her to psychologically spin out of control. And it just, the entitlement and the high offended attitude. How dare life not change and not give me what I want? She didn't say that, but her behavior made that crystal clear. So that's what's going on. These cases, like I said, these 15,000 new cases in South Carolina are from this year, August of this year, this month. And I'm sure it's rising as we speak. So people are going to still continue to play the dice, roll the dice on their health and their partner's health. They don't care. 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 They want to self-destruct, obviously, because doing somebody is more important than breathing. So when you know better, you do better. When you get your ass to therapy and you realize that getting butt-ass naked with somebody is not going to solve a fucking thing in your head, it's going to make your life more complicated. It's going to bring up more emotions, and you're going to keep running from your problems because you're looking for instant gratification. You're a gerbil on a wheel, running faster and faster and faster and making absolutely no progress because you're going about everything the wrong way. So sometimes people have to crash and burn. The problem with that is, even when they crash and burn, they still don't learn. They still don't learn. So if I were you, I'd be real careful. For women who have decided to be celibate, because men ain't going to be celibate. They'd rather jump off a damn bridge than give up that. But women, keep your legs closed. Be careful. It's not worth dying over. Most people cannot, and men, most people cannot be faithful, will not be faithful, will not be faithful. HIV is not going to stop them. They don't give a shit if they catch it. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Because if they did, they would change their ways, and they're not changing their ways. And the statistics are proving it. Let me tell you something else. Because we have Cialis, and I think it's called Levitra, I think. And I forget the other one. Anyway, ED medication. Okay. If men can afford it, they are affecting, they're infecting, men that are in the nursing homes are affecting women in the nursing homes as well, because he's got a blue pill that he could just throw in his mouth and hey, boom. And so women who are 50, 60 and up, 70 and up are getting STDs for the first time because of the blue pill, and men being able to function if they can afford their medication. So you got women who have never, they went their whole life without STIs or STDs, who are now getting sick, some of which are getting HIV because of this. So it's a sad situation. It really, really, really is a sad situation. So until we change our behavior, things are going to keep getting worse. So I can't, I'm limited to what I could do if people don't want to listen. I'm limited to what I could do. And the more freaky you are, and you pride yourself on being freaky, the more risks you're taking with your life, and you're spinning the wheel on what disease you get next. And it could very well be HIV. If you want to take that kind of chance, keep going. Keep on. Smart people are going to get to the bottom of it, and they're going to find out why they feel the need to do such self-destructive behavior, why you have to do drugs, why you have to drink, why you have to be hypersexual with people, why you have a gambling addiction. You got to get to the root. You can water the tree. I've said this before. You could water the tree. You could add nutrients to the soil. You could do whatever the hell you want to do. But if the disease is in the roots, you got to get to the roots. And you got to get to the root of why your behavior is what it is. And that requires you to go to therapy. Not taking off another person's clothes, because that's not going to fix it. Okay? I can only give you the tools, and it's up to you to use those tools wisely. If you don't, whatever happens is on you. You've been warned. So y'all take care. Much love. Bye.